You are listening to the AI World Podcast, your trusted source for the latest innovations, insights, and trends in artificial intelligence, blockchain, fintech, and decentralized technologies. Each episode features expert interviews, engaging discussions, and in-depth analysis of how AI transforms industries worldwide. Stay ahead of the curve with the latest articles and exclusive reports from the AI World Journal, covering everything from emerging technologies to industry breakthroughs. For more news, global events, and access to AI World Society circle gatherings, visit us at aiworld.tv. Don't forget to subscribe to stay informed, stay connected, and be part of the AI revolution with AI World Lounge. Thank you for listening.
Welcome to the Deep Dive. You know, for years we talked about AI as the future, this distant promise.
Right. Always on the horizon.
Exactly. But if you look at the source material we've pulled together today, it's a really stunning report from the AI World Journal. Well, it's clear the future didn't just arrive. It brought an absolutely massive stack of cash with it, and it demanded a seat right at the geopolitical head table.
Yeah, absolutely. This isn't really about algorithms anymore, is it? It's about global strategic positioning. And we're tracking this, well, unprecedented surge of capital and, frankly, political weight flowing into AI, specifically around the U.S. and the U.K.
The Transatlantic connection.
That's it. And our mission here really is to pull out the strategic decisions and, maybe more importantly, the staggering scale of investment that's shaping the global rules of the game right now.
And the context for all this commitment, that's what makes it jump from just a business story to, well, a really fascinating geopolitical pivot. You'd think a state visit, okay, traditional politics, tariffs, maybe defense treaties would be the main event.
The usual stuff.
Right. But when Donald Trump visited the UK back in September 2025, AI wasn't some footnote.
No.
It was the core subject. It overshadowed pretty much everything else.
And what's fascinating, I think, is how that political statement became, well, transactional, almost immediately.
How so?
Well, the visit ended with the signing of this tech prosperity deal. It's a huge framework, covers quantum computing, clean energy, advanced infrastructure.
A lot in there.
A lot.
Yeah.
But the clear, undisputed centerpiece, AI, that was the currency of the whole diplomatic exchange.
And the delegation itself really confirms this shift in priorities, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
It wasn't just diplomats and, secretaries of state.
Yeah.
We're talking about huge foundational tech figures. Jensen Huang from Nvidia, Sam Altman from OpenAI.
Yeah.
They were front and center.
Yeah. That doesn't just underline AI's importance. It signals that tech leadership is now, well, functionally the same thing as geopolitical power.
Right. The U.S. government brought its biggest corporate players, its heavy hitters, to the table.
And their presence basically solidified the message. The U.K. is being positioned as, like, an indispensable strategic partner in this global AI race. And that partnership, as we saw in the reports, it came with a huge price tag. Or maybe a massive corporate investment commitment is a better way to put it.
Okay, let's definitely unpack this investment wave.
Yeah.
Because the scale, it feels like nation building by checkbook.
It really does.
Seriously, when I first saw these anchor figures, I actually had to double check the source. These are corporate mega deals. They're anchoring infrastructure for decades.
The sheer volume, the quantification, it's striking. U.S. firms basically decide, okay, the U.K. is a primary node for our global expansion.
Like a secure hub.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Creating a secure allied compute buffer zone. And why? Because housing critical AI infrastructure on allied soil just removes that risk, that possibility of future data sovereignty fights you might get with, say, non-allies.
Okay, so let's get specific. Microsoft, what did they bring?
Okay, Microsoft pledged around $30 billion for UK cloud and AI infrastructure.
$30 billion.
$30 billion. And crucially, that specifically includes plans for what would be the country's largest AI supercomputer.
Wow. That's more than the GDP of several small countries, all aimed at digital infrastructure.
And look, this supercomputer isn't just, a big server rack somewhere. It's a national asset.
Right.
It means cutting-edge British researchers, startups, they won't have to rely entirely on accessing compute power across the Atlantic.
You have it right there.
The engine is right there. Ensures speed and crucially keeps that valuable data, that IP, local.
Okay, then you've got Nvidia, the essential supplier for this entire boom, really.
Yeah, the picks and shovels. They committed to delivering more than 100,000 high-end GPUs to UK facilities.
100,000.
And they're deepening their involvement in next-gen compute projects, too, including negotiating a $500 million stake in Wave, the self-driving startup.
Why Wave specifically? What's the significance there beyond the big number?
Well, Wave represents that cutting-edge applied AI research in an industry self-driving that generates just massive amounts of proprietary data.
Okay.
So by investing $500 million, Nvidia gets access to that specific UK talent pool, the data sets, and it ensures that strategic UK IP stays aligned within this transatlantic sphere. It's not moving east.
Makes sense. And OpenAI is in the mix, too.
Yep, they agreed to co-develop large-scale compute resources in Britain. Again, reinforcing the UK's role as a global deployment node.
Right, and Google and Salesforce.
They're not sitting it out,
Yep.
promising billions for new data centers, expanding their own AI footprints there too.
Okay, so if we step back, connect the dots, these aren't just random financial splashes.
Not at all. They're foundational building blocks.
Yeah.
New data centers, job creation, research ecosystems. Yeah. It basically anchors Britain's role for decades.
And ensures the critical hardware.
The critical infrastructure needed to train and run these huge frontier AI models resides firmly on allied democratic soil. That's the key.
Okay, so that brings us nicely to the U.S. side of this equation. We've got the huge investment Britain received. But how is America paying for its end of this strategic deal? What's the U.S. strategy?
Well, the U.S. strategy seems built on, I'd say, 3 pillars: overwhelming scale, speed, and security.
Right.
The U.S. ecosystem, it's clearly designed for long-term dominance. And that dominance, it needs a massive, coordinated federal policy backbone.
And that's where the Chain PS Act comes in.
Tens of billions are being channeled through the JVPS and Science Act. Exactly.
We hear that act mentioned a lot, but what does it really mean in this context for AI specifically?
It means the federal government is acting as the ultimate co-investor. Seriously.
Yeah.
The GMPS Act isn't just about subsidizing chip factories anymore.
It's broader now.
Much broader. It's the financial backbone guaranteeing domestic R&D centers, these massive compute hubs, and securing the U.S. talent pipeline. That includes funding specialized workforce training.
So it's the whole supply chain.
It's about securing the entire AI supply chain, right from the most fundamental level, from the silicon itself to the software engineer running the code.
And the security element you mentioned, that's vital. We're seeing companies like Anthropic, Together AI, Harvey. They're raising hundreds of millions just for frontier models.
Yeah.
How does federal policy steer those hyper-growth startups?
That security requirement acts like a massive steering mechanism. You've got the Department of Defense, other federal agencies, actively contracting with AI startups.
So they're direct customers.
Direct customers, setting parameters. They aren't just relying on commercial innovation happening on its own. They're ensuring sensitive, dual-use technologies are developed domestically within secure channels.
And just to clarify for you listening, dual-use technologies, that's a critical point here.
Absolutely crucial.
Yeah.
These are technologies with both civilian and military applications.
Right.
So think about an advanced AI used for, say, drug discovery or climate modeling. That same core tech could potentially be refitted for complex military uses, optimizing logistics, maybe advanced targeting systems.
Okay.
So by contracting with these firms, the government steers that innovation towards national interest problems, and it makes sure the IP stays locked down, secure.
Okay, now here's where it gets really interesting on the strategic front, I think. The infrastructure race.
Mm-hmm. The physical reality.
AI's notorious hunger for compute power means the physical stuff, the electricity, is fast becoming the limiting factor globally.
It's incredible, isn't it?
It's not just about who has the fastest chip anymore. It's about who can reliably power the server farms needed to run those chips, 247.
And Washington's new Speed to Power initiative really underscores this urgency. The source material states flat out, electricity availability is now as crucial to AI as the algorithms themselves.
Wow.
We're at a point where data centers are becoming the largest new consumers of global electricity. Think about that.
Speed to power. It sounds a bit like corporate jargon, though. What does it actually mean on the ground?
It means fast-tracking permitting. For massive power plants, for dedicated transmission lines, specifically near where these data center hubs are planned.
Cutting red tape.
Exactly. Governments are realizing, look, if the U.S. wants to maintain its tech lead, it absolutely has to solve the logistical problem of feeding these immense, always-on digital appetites.
So they're prioritizing energy for AI.
Above almost all else, it seems.
Yeah.
It's a strategic imperative now.
Okay. So meanwhile, across the pond, the UK has taken a slightly different tack, but still ambitious.
Yeah, a different emphasis.
Instead of just trying to match US scale, which is probably impossible anyway, they're focusing on governance as a competitive edge.
And the market momentum seems to validate their starting point, right? The UK is Europe's most concentrated AI hub.
The numbers back that up.
They do. Nearly 6,000 AI companies currently operating there. And look at the capital attraction. First half of 2025 alone, UK AI startups pulled in $2.4 billion in venture capital.
$2.4 billion in 6 months.
Yep. And get this, that's nearly 1/3 of all British venture funding going into AI.
Wow. That's incredible. But hang on, I have to challenge that slightly. Are we seeing genuine homegrown UK growth there? Or is a lot of that just, branches of US firms setting up shop to maybe benefit from specific rules or talent pools?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Or maybe the billion-dollar question here.
Yeah.
The source materials suggest it's a mix. But the UK's strategic choice, this focus on governance, is designed to attract both homegrown talent and global capital.
So the differentiator is the regulation.
The differentiator is their strong emphasis on governance and AI safety. They are actively marketing themselves as the trusted, responsible destination for global AI money.
You can see that strategy playing out in their timeline, too, referencing the AI Safety Summit back in 2023, the ongoing working groups.
Right. The whole narrative is balance innovation with responsible oversight.
Frame Britain as safe, reliable.
It's a sophisticated strategic play, really. In a world that's getting increasingly wary about the systemic risks of frontier AI,
Which it definitely is.
being the country that openly prioritizes responsible oversight, well, that attracts long-term, stable investment, like that $30 billion from Microsoft. They might hesitate to put that kind of cash into less regulated, maybe less predictable jurisdictions.
But isn't regulation inherently slow? I mean, that's the classic argument. How can Britain sell speed and safety at the same time? Isn't there a huge risk that too much governance will just stifle the aggressive, move fast and break things innovators?
Send them right back to Silicon Valley.
Exactly.
That is precisely the tightrope they're walking. It's the defining challenge of their whole strategy.
So how do they do it?
Well, the source material suggests the UK's approach is about proportional regulation. Focus on the highest risk models and applications first. Don't apply a blanket rule to everything.
Okay, tiered approach.
Right. Lighter touch regulation for the vast majority of commercial AI, while ensuring the really big catastrophic risks are managed openly, transparently. It's basically a bet.
A bet on what?
A bet that international trust is ultimately worth more than maximizing short-term acceleration at all costs.
And this ambition for trust, that leads us straight back to the core of the tech prosperity deal, right? The idea of collaboration over just pure competition.
Exactly. The source highlights that both governments, US and UK, agreed to share methodologies for testing these advanced AI systems, pooling expertise on safety, on reliability.
Which is a practical acknowledgement, really.
It has to be. Frontier AI development, it just transcends national borders.
Yeah.
And national budgets, frankly.
No single country can handle it alone.
No single democratic nation can handle the risks or the sheer infrastructure requirements alone. So, by pooling expertise, they aim to set the global standard for safety, a standard that eventually non-allied nations will have to measure up against.
But the report, it doesn't just paint a rosy picture. It's clear about the immense challenges ahead.
Oh, absolutely not.
The tech prosperity deal is full of promise, sure, but its success hinges on solving some very urgent, very physical problems. The policy promises are written down, but the execution needs concrete and wire.
That's a good way to put it. The key bottlenecks are explicitly named in the report, and they need urgent solutions. We're talking energy supply, planning permissions for these massive data centers, and, of course, the constant need for workforce training.
Okay, let's focus on the two biggest physical hurdles for a second. Energy and planning permissions. Why are these sort of administrative and infrastructure issues such a potential showstopper for tech moving at light speed?
Well, planning permissions are tough because, let's be honest, massive data centers are often locally unpopular.
And yeah, Ducky-ism. Not in my backyard.
Pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
They need huge tracts of land. They consume staggering amounts of water for cooling. They generate significant heat, noise pollution, often clashing with local zoning or environmental goals. So fast-tracking a multi-billion-dollar data center means overcoming potentially significant local political resistance.
Yeah.
And the UK's traditional planning system, well, it's notoriously slow.
Okay, so that's one hurdle, and the energy problem just makes it worse.
It compounded massively. Even if they somehow get the planning approval quickly, they need guaranteed, clean, massive power supplies ready to go.
And you can't just flip a switch for that.
Exactly. You might build a supercomputer in a year or two. You cannot build a new nuclear reactor or a major natural gas plant and all the grid upgrades that go with it in just a year.
So the policy speed.
The policy speed, the promise of investment, it's moving way faster than the physical reality of grid modernization can keep up with right now.
And if policy speed can't match technological speed?
Those billion-dollar corporate promises might literally hit a brick wall of insufficient voltage. It's a real risk.
Which brings us to our final 3 key shifts. The big takeaways, the signals this huge transatlantic surge sends to you, the listener. This is where the next decade of strategic investment is likely going.
Okay, first, infrastructure is king. Simple as that.
Yeah.
The deepest money, the most politically protected money, it's flowing into chips, data centers, and power grids.
The physical enablers.
They're the physical enablers that unlock all the algorithmic potential. Software success now depends entirely on industrial-scale hardware and energy supply.
Okay.
Second takeaway.
Second, public-private partnerships matter more than ever. Governments aren't just passive regulators anymore, waiting to clean up messes after the fact.
They're proactive.
They are co-investors, they're massive anchor customers, they're conveners, actively shaping the market through strategic policy and spending. Think SHIP-ES Act again.
Right. And the third key shift.
And finally, number 3, safety is a competitive advantage. The UK strategy is proving this. Countries that can balance rapid innovation with clear, transparent, responsible governance. They're better positioned to attract that long-term, top-tier international capital and talent.
Making trust a commodity.
Effectively making trust a global commodity, yes.
And so the Trump state visit, it really was more than just ceremony then. Much more.
It symbolized a firm tightening of that transatlantic bond, positioning the U.S. and UK as, maybe, the joint architects of the AI era.
I think that's fair. Combining American capital and sheer tech leadership with British regulatory ambition and that deep research expertise they have.
It's an alliance built on shared strategic necessity, it sounds like.
Definitely. But, and this is the big but, while the investment scale and the strategic alignment are crystal clear, the partnership's success hinges entirely on execution.
Getting it done.
Getting it done. They've identified the choke points, energy, planning permissions. The question is, can they fix them fast enough?
And that really is the provocative thought we want to leave you with today. When technology moves at the speed of light and the investment is sitting there ready to flow, can policy and physical infrastructure possibly keep pace?
The partnership is cemented on paper. But the real race, it's against the clock to solve those physical, kind of unsexy bottlenecks.
Because if they can't build the power grid fast enough, who really wins the AI race in the end?
The future of artificial intelligence is unfolding, and it's happening at AI World Week, the flagship global event for innovation, collaboration, and transformation. This flagship global AI event is designed to connect visionary leaders, trailblazing entrepreneurs, and influential thinkers to explore the endless possibilities of AI. Experience groundbreaking technology that redefines industries and inspires progress. Join thought-provoking discussions on ethical AI, digital equity, and the transformative role of technology in our world. Build meaningful connections that catalyze innovation and drive impact. AI World Week is powered by AI World Society, a global movement dedicated to advancing AI responsibly and ensuring it serves humanity. Together, we're shaping a smarter, more inclusive, and equitable future. Continue your journey beyond the event with the AI World Journal, offering expert insights, in-depth analysis, and the latest trends shaping the AI landscape. This is your opportunity to lead, to innovate, and to transform the world with AI. AI World Week. We invite you to join us and embrace the AI revolution.